Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Audrey here, the Fit, Fearless, and Faithful Mom. If you are new to me, welcome. Today's video is going to be stemming off of last week's video where I created a faith-based vision board. So what I'm going to show you today is how I take that vision board and prioritize those for my family. Because after I continuously grow, how do I actually put everything into effect? Right? Because we don't want to get lost. We don't want to compartmentalize anything. So tap that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, because we have been on a roll with organization. And I love organization. Just love it. So here we go. All right. So this is how I stay focused, raising my family Catholic, because I think it's easy to like dive down these different rabbit holes based upon what everyone and their mama is saying, because there are so many fruitful Catholic YouTubers who are always like, I read this book, I watched this, I did this, and it's so easy. Like, oh my goodness, I need every single book in the bookshelf and stuff. Okay, here we go. First things first is you want to set goals for yourself, which we've gone over, but you also want to set goals for your family. Two, prioritize, like, what do you want your children to learn? And that also stems off of a previous video I did on the best faith formation resources for your kids. So you're gonna need the previous two videos. Remember that you're continuously learning and continuously teaching, right? Don't treat faith like it's school. Because if you start compartmentalizing, right, you want the kids to have a love of learning, which I talked about in my homeschool series that I did back in July and stuff, so you can check that out too. But you want everything to have this like beautiful flow so that the kids want to learn, and you want things to be relatable to them, which is why I shared those faith-based resources last time, okay? So you want to have a goal. What are you actually wanting and trying to relay to your family first? Okay, so you gotta pick something. Whenever you're talking to your family, give them examples as you're talking. Make it relatable. So my example one day, we were talking about sin and like actually feeling bad, but it's not scary to talk to the priest, and do you tell your mom and dad and all that? And I told the story of when, I forget how old I was, but I stole a flower from one of our neighbors who was down the street from us, and I thought no one was in the yard, and I went up and I picked the flower, and all of a sudden I heard, hey, do you need something? And I dropped the flower because then I got scared. In any case, the kids got a kick out of that. Make things relatable to them. So I tell them like little things that I did. Okay, so here's my morning routine in order to set myself up to help educate my children. So usually between 4:30 and 5, I wake up and I do my rosary, my devotional, and so that takes about 35-ish minutes, right? Okay, so after that, I read the Bible for about 40 minutes, and so I started reading the Bible last August because I just want to keep reading the Bible. After I read the Bible, I do some sort of personal development, and that might be reading more about the body. It's something else that might correspond to what I'm reading, but it's to develop my mind even more. Whatever I am reading corresponds to what I'm watching. Okay, and so that I don't get burnt out, you know, I switch up who I'm actually watching. Taylor Marshall, he's always a fan favorite. Father Mike Schmitz, Father Goring, and Father Josh Johnson. And I am so thankful to have met Father Josh Johnson when he was actually a deacon at my church. So that's really exciting. You need to find things that correspond and that really ignite you. I am super heavy into the Mass right now. That might not be your thing. The history of the Rosary might be your thing right now. So pick something that's on your faith vision board and then break it down from there. One of the things that I have on my faith vision board is reading Introduction to Catholicism. You say, Audrey, why are you doing that when you're a Catholic and you're a cradle Catholic? Because I want to go back to the basics. I want to dive even more into a world that I probably may have not experienced before. And the Didacty series is awesome. Like, so there's several different books within the Didacty series. I already did one of them. I'm doing Introduction to Catholicism because you know what? I want to be able to fully answer why. Why are you Catholic? And over the past couple of years, I've developed that answer, but you know what? I want to continuously refine it, and I want to continuously study what it was like for the early church fathers. And I want my children to be able to have that firm foundation early on. And so reading these textbook style books are perfect for me in conjunction with reading the Bible because they correspond to each other, right? If I'm reading Introduction to Catholicism or understanding the scriptures, it's going to help give me a deeper sense of why are we Catholic? What was Christ talking about when he said X, Y, Z? When I look at my faith vision board, Introduction to Catholicism is right there because that is what I focus on. That is my vision that I have, and also the Great Adventure Bible is on there too. Now, after I am, have moved on from those, my vision board might change. Okay. All right. Now, what do I do with the kids? So now I am like soaking up all of this amazing knowledge. The kids and I pray throughout the day. I have found it best to really engage them after lunch. It's around usually between like 1 and 2 is when we'll sit and we have, let's see, at the end of May. Yep, at the end of May is when we started saying the full rosary every day. So they are ages 10, 6, and 4, and we do the whole rosary. So we sit there, and it's good training. It's good training for them. Like, sit. You can totally sit for 15 minutes. And it's beautiful because they also lead it. Okay, so after that, we focus on the mysteries. I ask them to reflect in their heart what each mystery means as we're saying the rosary. If they want to share. So for example, today we actually today was the sorrowful mysteries. And when we did the sorrowful mysteries, we talk about doing the will of God and how sometimes it's really hard. And Jesus was sweating blood, about doing God's will. And so we talk about how difficult it might be sometimes. So we relate it like that, and we talk about it, and I allow them to, I want them to talk freely. And that's another thing too, is allowing your children the opportunity to actually speak. Like, hey mom, I'm thinking about this, right? Because with trying to do this virtue training, I want them in 10 years, 5, 10, 15 years, however long, for us to still be able to have these conversations when life is going to get a bit challenging for them, right? So allowing them to speak. They have studied the early church in little ways through our history book. We talk about that as well while we're doing history. And then it'll lead down a road like, hey mom, whoa, what's with all these martyrs? Let's go pick one. Pick one that we read about, and let's go down the rabbit hole of, okay, here's this martyr. Why were they a martyr in the 60s? And I don't mean the 1960s. I mean like the 60s AD. What does the Mass mean? We go to the traditional Latin Mass, the TLM. And so reading this Introduction to Catholicism, my kids reading the children's version of the Bible, making those connections. And so that has been our focus. And so by you having a focus, it will help to instill values into your children and understand that why. Where did things come from? It's so cool. And lastly, so in regards to the sacraments, right? Baptism, the Eucharist, the sacrament of reconciliation, I want them to be prepared for the sacrament of confirmation. When they are blessed with the gift of the Holy Spirit, like, go forth and proclaim the good news, which is what they're doing now. But even like when they make that sacrament, when they receive that sacrament of confirmation, I want them to be equipped with everything that can be filled in them right now. So making sure that you have that focus right now can mean so much. Instilling those, specific times of day where there's prayer, but also conversation. Because through history and through science, they'll be asking questions about our faith. And that's what we want. We want this beautiful intermingling of, wow, Mom, science does relate to history and even relates to our church and even relates to this and this and this. Making those connections so that our faith is not just this compartmentalized, I'm just going to PSR or CCD, whichever your parish calls it. Don't just send your kids or expect someone else to be teaching stuff. You yourself need to learn. So create that faith-based vision board. You don't have to buy a ton of books and all this stuff, for your kids. Is it helpful? Yeah, but you need to have a focus. So again, our focus has been the Mass since March. It's been the focus and understanding the early church fathers. And until we've exhausted, once we've exhausted that, we'll move into another area, but that's where we are right now. So pick something. Tell your kids why we say the Hail Mary. Why do we have a devotion to Our Lady? Why do we have a devotion to Saint Joseph, right? So picking a goal and picking a focus instead of just having them rattle off prayers, we need to be able to go out and go forth and teach our children how to evangelize, what to evangelize. And all that is a beautiful gift. It's really cool. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how you prioritize your faith with your children, what your day kind of looks like, and so forth. So let me know. Tap that subscribe button if you are not part of my community, and make sure that you check out those other videos that I have put out in the past few months. I will catch up with you next time, friends, when we are talking more about bringing the faith into your life. Take care. Bye. Hey everybody, just want to say thank you so much for joining me again. Remember, check out those recommended videos over here, and don't forget, tap that subscribe button right down here so that you can become part of my community. Tap that notification bell, send me a message, leave me a comment below, and let me know how you're doing, how everything's going. I will catch up with you next time. Bye.